What's going on, cryptocurrency investors? My name is Landon. You're watching Blockchained. I apologize for the lack of updates today, as I suddenly today just got very sick and I do not feel good. My body is cold and my hands are clammy and my nose is running and I just don't feel good in general. However, nothing is going to stop the grind, so I'm going to produce a short video covering the sudden drop in the cryptocurrency market. Don't forget to sign up for the Ethereum official Telegram group to enter yourself into the Bounty Rewards program. As well, drop your email into the Ethereum mailing list to check it out for yourself. It's going to be one of the hottest ICOs this year. As I said yesterday, we were hovering at $300 billion for the overall market capitalization, and I did indicate that the 275 very crucial support line was one that I had hoped we would not cross. And as you can see, as soon as we did cross it, there was a sudden and steep drop off, larger than anything we've seen in the last few days. There was a sudden drop off as soon as we broke the 300 billion, which was expected. There's going to be sell-offs when the market cap reaches that low because people start to panic. However, there was an interesting Reddit post earlier on today that really puts things into perspective. This individual says that it's not complicated. The majority of people who bought in December and January don't even understand what Bitcoin is, which is likely quite true. The majority of people who bought in December and January bought to get rich quick, and they also don't generally believe in Bitcoin and are just after the profits. They're in it for the money, and they are sadly being disappointed right now. Naturally, they sell when the price goes down, and that is what has happened in the last few days. As I indicated, once the price drops, there's going to be a ton of sell-offs. Equally so, when the price rises, there's also sell-offs because people are trying to take profits from a much anticipated rise. There was an insane run-up, and people that otherwise would not even be interested in securities or investment vehicles like the stock market were definitely taking an interest in crypto, and that's when we saw the push to almost $1 trillion. Keep in mind, as I said yesterday, Bitcoin was trading at $3,000 in September, so even if we drop to, let's say, 5K or 4K, it's still an incredible increase, the likes of which is not seen in any other financial market. It's still one of the biggest bull markets that this world has ever seen and will continue to be that way. Also, because of the unregulated nature, there is a large chance that there's a ton of manipulation and prices being held down or pushed up artificially by whales and people that have a lot of money to move around and thus manipulate the markets. Once a major sell-off happens, let's say somebody sells a couple million worth of Bitcoin, it causes a landslide of selling because people see that, and subsequently weak hands will panic and get out. Unfortunately, that is what we are seeing. We saw a little bit of bullish activity earlier on today, bringing the price back up to $282 billion from the 276 price point, which is $1 billion ahead of that crucial support line. So once it did touch close to the 275, we saw a resurgence. And then once we broke 275, we saw a subsequent plummet and then a bit of a resurgence, because people are going to start buying when the prices get low. This natural fluctuation is common in new and emerging markets, just like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So hang in there. Ignore the conspiracies, ignore all the FUD and all the panic, because this market is not going anywhere and Bitcoin is generating more momentum in the public sphere than ever before. One of the coins that was hit the least today in the drop off was Tron, because there's a lot of buying power in the anticipated coin burn and testnet launch that's happening on Monday. And I imagine, even though the market is consolidating, and let's say even if we hit $250 billion, I think Tron will be one of the better faring coins in an overall drop off, just due to the anticipation. Another coin we've been covering extensively is Verge, and with a lot of disappointment because nothing has been announced. It's been a long ride for the Verge holders, and unfortunately you better stay buckled in, because I don't think it's going to end this week. I'm not sure when they're going to release it. They were supposed to release it March 26th. They postponed it to the following morning, and then nothing has been said since. There's a lot of anticipation waiting for this to be released. However, some of the weak hands that just can't wait for whatever announcement they have in this major partnership have likely just bailed out of Verge, and we're left with all the diehard Verge fans that were there to begin with, holding these bags and waiting for this major announcement. I do think it is promising going forward. I think they will have a big partnership and a lot of price movement once they get around to announcing it. But as of right now, there's a ton of disappointment. As you can see, just like I said yesterday, the volume has continued to drop off, and they've actually returned completely to levels that Verge was experiencing before any crowdfunding announcement came through, with a spike of over $200 million in 24-hour volume, and now subsequently back down to the $20-30 million range. I expect Verge to take a beating continually while these markets continue to fall ever so slightly, but still fall, and causing a ton of worry across the crypto sphere. Tron still has an almost $500 million 24-hour volume, which in my opinion, as I stated in our Tron video, check that out above if you've missed it. In order for them to maintain a 5, 6, or even 7 cent price point, they must maintain over 500 million 24-hour volume, and that's being quite conservative. In order for them to really rise to even 7 cents, let's say, they really have to hit 600 million plus for a consistent period to be able to sustain that. Any gain that they do see on March 31st prior or post won't be sustained if they cannot maintain a 24-hour volume of at least 400 to 500 million. And in order for them to continue to grow like many investors are anticipating, the 24-hour volume must rise. Naturally, it's going to rise as we resurge at some point and break 300 billion, approach 4, 5, 6, and hopefully by the end of this year hit the $1 trillion marker. Tron is a long-term project. I can't stress that enough. For anybody looking to get rich quick or to pull out some profits in the next week or so, you actually might get lucky, but don't be incredibly disappointed if that doesn't happen, because Tron is a long-term project, and anybody that's investing in Tron right now for short-term gains should rethink your overall strategy, in my opinion. Earlier on today, Tron had jumped 2 spots from the 12th position into the 10th position and has since fallen 1 slot down to the 11th. They were up 10% earlier on today and have subsequently lost 12% of that and are minus 2% over 24 hours right now. Like I said, considering the overall market is down at least 10% or more, with some coins even down up to 20%, it's been an entire peelback across the market. So in my opinion, it's not so much a matter of is crypto going anywhere, is crypto dying, whatever. None of those things are a concern of mine. I think blockchain technology is here to stay, and it will continue to grow in momentum and overall market cap over this year and the coming years. But it's just a question of how low will it go, and where do you sit considering your stop losses and where you've purchased in on any of your coins. That is a decision you have to make if you want to pull your losses and get out of any one of these coins. But I can almost guarantee that these markets will resurge. If you don't sell a single coin during this peel off, you will be rewarded in a month, 2 months, or May, for example, whenever the big cryptocurrency CoinDesk meetup happens, and a lot of announcements are going to be subsequently following. There's also a lot of very promising projects in the top 100, ton of growth potential. I'm surprised Stellar Lumens is not on this list, but EOS, which is looking to replace Ethereum and be a better decentralized application platform, Neo and Gas are always trending and an ever popular crypto. Dash is one that I'm not too fond of personally, but a lot of people really enjoy the overall product, scope, and development team. There's no doubt Dash has done well, sitting in number 13 on the top 100, but it has also taken a beating today, down 8%. EOS is one of the better faring coins in this overall peelback, down 4%. Not as good as Tron, but that's to be expected with all of the Tron news that's happening right now. VeChain, which we've covered extensively on this channel, I really love the development team. I love the project and the overall scope. It's got a great body of work on the GitHub, and I think it's one that should rise exponentially this year, along with the overall market cap of cryptocurrency. Everything is so dependent on this market capitalization of cryptocurrency. None of these projects are going to do well unless more money comes in, and we have to break 500 billion in the near future for a lot of weak hands to be convinced to stay in crypto. But in my opinion, they can go because it will provide more long-term stability for those people that aren't looking to get rich quick and really do believe in this blockchain technology vision. Decred coin is another anonymous cryptocurrency with a hybrid consensus system. It's a lot like Bitcoin, but with a robust community input to sustain financial development. It is the newest one in this list to the markets and overall cryptocurrency industry, and it is one that has the most to prove in my opinion. It wasn't on my radar prior to it hitting the market, but I have seen its name pop up several times and done a bit of investigation. It seems like an interesting project that I would love to learn more about. If you're an investor in Decred, let me know by commenting below. Having a look at these markets, it's not very promising. I did mention that some analysts are calling for up to a year of a bear market right now, similar to what we saw in 2013 for Bitcoin. I'm not ready to commit on that extent just yet. However, I did not expect us to fall below $275 billion. As I indicated yesterday, I thought the bulls were going to come in and push it back up once we hit the 276. As you can see by right here, when we hit 278, it just panicked and completely dropped down. Not the biggest drop that we've seen in the last week, but at a very crucial point, it was one that definitely hurt the markets. Let's look at the day. We've recovered a lot of that almost up to the $270 billion marker and then experienced some horizontal movement. So the rest of the day will be pivotal as to where we will end up tomorrow morning. We could wake up and see the market below 250 billion, or we could wake up and see 325 billion. I'm hoping for the latter, and I think you should as well. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize for the lack of uploads. I'm just going to go to bed early tonight and try to feel better for the morning, and regardless of how I feel tomorrow, I will be producing content as per our regular schedule. My name's Landon, you're watching Blockchained, and until next time everyone.